Hi Abhinav, hello everyone. I am Anish, as you all would know, and I'm here on behalf of the National Law Training Institute. Today we have among us Abhinav Somani, who secured a brilliant All India rank of 1 in CLAT 23. So you all must be feeling very privileged or top of the world while being in this meeting with Abhinav Somani, who would be a mentor for a lot of you people probably, and who you people might be looking up to for a CLAT 24 exam. So Abhinav will primarily talk about the All India mock that we are conducting on the 8th of April. So this is a very unique opportunity because you get to appear for an exam live with the topper, and that topper also none other than All India rank 1. So how would this help? How this mock would help you? Like I'll list down a few points. Like you'll see the mindset of the of a topper who has just appeared for the exam and who knows how to ace it. If the exam throws any surprises at you, the topper, that is Abhinav, in for this mock, will help you analyze it and guide you how to overcome such challenges. This will be this These things will be taken up in the analysis that will immediately follow the mock. And also, just giving a mock simultaneously alongside a topper will help you boosting your morale, your confidence, and it will be a very unique opportunity that you might not receive in your rest of the CLAT preparation journey. So all of you who are here, please make it a point to attend that All India mock. Abhinav will also be talking about it a little more, and also will be taking up any. Just a minute. Thank you. Yeah. We'll be taking up any questions that you might have once Abhinav is done talking about the mock and what his expectations are from you guys regarding the mock and all. So we'll be taking up general queries also. So stay tuned for this session. I hope this would be a very enlightening session for you guys. So Abhinav, over to you.
All right, thank you, Anish. So this session will be in two parts. Firstly, I give you some reasons as to why you should attempt the All India Open mock, and secondly, I will share some strategies which you might follow if you wish to in the All India Open mock day after tomorrow. So why you should give the mock? Firstly, as Anish said, it creates a very great sense of competitiveness. So the thing with an exam like CLAT is कि यार there is no syllabus. So at the end of the day, no matter how much you study, you really can't predict what the paper is going to look like on the final day. So the only thing, the only quality of yours which can really help you here is your competitiveness. If you keep up that competitive ethos, that motivation, that fighter spirit through to the end, ki, no, I want to top in this. That really, really helps you. And believe me, being competitive is a very, very important part of your preparation. Like I have personally observed this in many, many people. Like some friends of mine who used to do very well, but they were not really that competitive. They were like, it's fine. I'm okay with being second or third. They were like, okay, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, they were not able to perform as well as they could. So maintaining a sense of competitiveness is very, very important. And I think when you see so many people giving the mock alongside you, it really gives you a reality check, so to speak. And it makes you as competitive as you really need to be. So yeah, that's one important thing. Then the second is key. I will also be giving the mock alongside you. You can see how I approach the mock, how I divide my time, how our approaches to different questions are different. Then the third will be that we will be analyzing the mock immediately afterwards. You can ask any doubts you have. We can see what are the different ways in which we approach the mock. And yeah, you can just clear any queries you have, any doubts you have. You can ask for any tips or tricks. You will also learn a lot of new things, definitely. You'll learn some certain tips to approach a question, a certain overall mindset to deal with a certain section, etc. Then fourth is you'll be getting ranks after the mock, if I'm not wrong, Anish.
Yeah, they'll be getting ranks also.
Yeah.
Also,
So
sorry
you'll
to
be
interrupt
getting,
you, guy.
yeah.
Please, if you are in a position to turn on your videos, please do it. It will help Abhinav and me to connect a little better with you, and also would be a little. Let's try to make this session as interactive as possible. So all those who can and who are in a position to turn on their videos, please do it. Thank you.
Yeah, so you'll also be getting ranks immediately after the mock, right? So that also lets you know how well you are in the standing. Like when preparing by yourself, everyone thinks, "Ki man, my preparation is going very well." But it's when you get the ranks in your hand that you find out ki, oh, okay, there are still an XYZ number of people are still ahead of me, and I need to put in even more effort than I am currently putting in, just to be able to, you know, overcome them. So ranks definitely help. Once again, it disconnects with the first point. It creates a great sense of competitiveness in you. So yeah, ranks will actually, once again, it will give you a reality check as to how your preparation is really going and whether you can be complacent or you need to put in more effort. And the last point is key, man. It's really cheap, like just for 49 rupees. I think most of us just waste 49 rupees in random things every day. So if you're getting the opportunity to give a great mock with a lot of people, followed with an immediate analysis, and I think there's some other special surprise as well, right? At the end of the mock, Nish,
Yeah,
something
there
stand out.
are scholarships also that we'll be offering through this
Yeah,
test. It's not,
and
no, and Abhinav, it's not about the money. So, last year also we had these open live mocks with various
yeah,
toppers. So, what people used to do is like 300, 400 people used to register, and only like 100 or 150 used to appear. So, this fee
yeah,
that we are charging is just to incentivize people that, oh, they'll feel this psychology that, okay, I have paid 50 rupees, I should appear for
yeah,
this mock. So, even though we'll get limited enrollment, limited registrations, at least we'll be sure that people who have registered will be appearing for the mock,
yeah,
unlike last time. So yeah, it's just
yeah,
like an incentivizing model to like help them appear for this test and not be very complacent or lazy to not appear.
yeah. All right. So I think a lot of you, or well, all of you must be convinced by now as to why you should give this mock. And well, it's just 3 hours of your time. And if that 3 hours of your time can give a roadmap, a preparation strategy, or just a vision to the your CLAT preparation for the next 8 months, I think it's worth giving that much time. Now coming to the strategy that you must follow. All that I am about to tell you, it is not cast in stone anywhere. You can obviously experiment yourself. You still have a lot of time to go until CLAT, over 200 days. So I would not recommend following whatever I am telling you word by word. You can go according to whatever you can just experiment around. That's my point. Like, even I think even I experimented around with a lot of strategies before finally settling on this one, which I'm about to tell you today. So you can note this down, you can listen to it, but just don't follow this word by word. Experiment by yourself and find the one which best suits you. So a few general tips in the beginning. So first, just look through the entire mock in 30 seconds. This is not quite relevant for right now, but on the final day, this will be helpful in finding out if there is a misprint in your question paper or something of the sort. So before beginning, just make it a habit to just flip through the question paper in 30 seconds. Then next, make sure to use an OMR sheet. I am sure it will be very, very easy to find an OMR sheet online with 150 slots and just ABCD. Make sure to use an OMR sheet because yeah, you think oh, I'll manage on the final day even if I don't use an OMR right now. But believe me, like, you do not realize how much time it takes to fill an OMR. So just search up for an OMR sheet online, download it and print it up. Believe me, like, it'll be a little effort, but it's really worth it. And even in any mocks you give in the future, make sure to use an OMR sheet. Um, then next, one might sound a bit stupid, but just remember to breathe. I mean, I've noticed myself that whenever I used to give a mock, you just get really tensed up, right? You are worried, ki, how will I score? How will I perform compared to my peers? What if I mess up a certain section? What if I do not know the GK topics asked, etc., etc., etc. So in all this, you just breathe very scantily. You one thing which really helped me, and I realized this quite towards the end of my preparation, that you should just force yourself to take deep breaths. Like, just tell yourself. I used to say it to myself in my mind while giving the mock, ki, Abhinav, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It really focuses your mind, and it helps you think faster, comprehend better. So yeah, just remember to breathe while giving the mock. Just tell yourself to breathe. Whenever it comes to your mind, yeah, Abhinav told me to breathe, just yeah, keep breathing again and again and again. Like, the more deep breaths you take, the more focused you will be and the better you will perform. Now some general tips. Oh, no, sorry, one more thing. Give the mock in 1 hour 55 minutes. Because on you really do not know what might happen on the final day. Some section might take more time than you expected, or there might be some problem. You might be taking more time filling up the OMR, or there might be a problem on the invigilator sides, and any number of things can happen really on the final day. So it's really good to inculcate the habit of giving the mock in 1 hour 55 minutes, so that you have that 5 minutes as spare on the final day. Because believe me, something or the other will come up on the final day, and you will think, "Ki, man, if I had just 5 minutes more." So just inculcate this habit right now of giving a mock in 1 hour 55 minutes, and do it with everything. Like in case you are giving an A-Net mock, then give it in 1 hour 25 minutes instead of 1 hour and 30 minutes. So whatever mock you are giving, just give it in 5 minutes lesser time than the actual mock. And yeah, also on the OMR sheet, make sure to fill in your, like, just put in some any random 8 9 digit enrollment ID and any 5 digit test code, and do that within the 1 hour 55 minutes, because that's how it will be on the final day. In CLAT, you do not get extra time for filling the details on the OMR. So yeah, use an OMR, and also fill in a random 9 digit test ID and a 5 digit test code on it, and do it all in 1 hour 55 minutes. All right. So now coming to the specific strategy, the paper solving pattern I used to follow was, I began with English and followed up with GK. So English and GK was in one go. After that, I jumped to QT. I did one set of QT, whichever one I found easiest. After that, I came to legal. Legal, it I did, and after that, I did another set of QT, and I came back to logical reasoning, and then I came to the last set of QT. Now, this is not cast in stone. Definitely, there were variations in this. Sometimes, if I was running short of time after doing legal, I would do logical reasoning immediately after legal, and then do the remaining set of QTs in the time, in however much time I had left. Sometimes, if the QT was too tough, if I could not make heads or tails of either of the three sets, then I would just skip it, and I would do all the just the four reading sections. So yeah, this is just, you can experiment around to find whatever order is ideal for you. Like, my thinking in setting this particular order was that legal reasoning is a long section, right? 40 questions, 8 passages. So you need time to think. You need a fresh brain. So after doing English and GK, your brain is a little tired. It loses a little of its capacity to comprehend. So if you jump over to QT, there is nothing to comprehend, just like mathematical equations to carry out. It gives your brain time to refresh. Then you can head over to legal with as good as fresh mind. And then, yeah, same that after legal, your mind gets quite exhausted. So do another set of QT, give your brain time to relax again, and then head over to logical reasoning. So now some section specific tips. In English, I would say that just read the questions before you read the passage. So when you are reading the passage, you keep those questions in mind, right? So sometimes you might not even have to read the entire passage. You can find all the answers even before you're done reading the passage. So yeah, one thing in English is definitely read the questions before the passage. Then coming to GK, just try to eliminate. And if you think you're in a good position, then you can definitely make guesses, because the risk to reward ratio is quite great. Like, if you make a wrong guess, then yeah, you will lose 0.25 marks. But if you do get it right, you do get 1 mark. So if you think that the rest of the mock is going well, then you can definitely try guessing in GK. But like, don't guess 30 questions out of 35. It's okay to guess like one passages or like 6 7 questions, but like, don't try to guess the entire thing. Um, like, try to maintain an accuracy as well. But if you guess a few questions, and if the rest of the mock is going well, then there's definitely no problem. And another connected point to this is, after you begin giving the mock, you'll realize, right, that how tough is this mock. Like, you'll get an idea that this is an easy mock, a moderate mock, a difficult mock. So what typically happens in difficult mocks is that the ranks are separated by 0.25 marks, 0.5 marks, and that sort of thing. So the difference between two ranks is really close, like what happened in ALET this time. In ALET as well, as soon, I hope all of you have seen ALET 23's paper. As soon as I opened the paper, I realized that this is a very, very difficult paper, and there really isn't going to be much difference between two ranks. Like it is going to be like 0.25 and zero point 0.5, and that's the way it is. If you look at the result sheet, there are 10 people sitting on each score. So in a really tough mock, you should aim for accuracy. You should aim at increasing your accuracy and just keep guesses to a minimum. One or two are fine. You can judge that much on the moment, but try to keep your guesses to a minimum in a difficult mock. If the mock is easier, you think you will score well, then you can go around guessing. So then coming to legal, for legal, I think the trick is to underline as little as possible. Like I have seen that, like even I used to do this. Like I used to underline pretty much everything in legal. I used to think that this is important, this is important, this is important. I used to underline everything. So in legal, all you should do is just underline the facts if they are given in the passage, or underline the principles. Underline the principles always, and if the facts are given, then do underline the facts. Because if you underline everything, and yeah, it is very tempting, right? You think that this can be important, this can be important. That just clogs up the entire passage, and then there's no point in underlining, right? So in legal, underline as little as possible, and yeah, do not read the questions before the passage, because the questions in legal are quite lengthy. They are, if you join three questions, it will become one passage of legal. So in legal, just keep your underlines to a minimum, underline only what is essential, and read the questions after the passage, and just whatever principles you underline, just get them into your mind. Like keep repeating them over and over in your brain. For example, you are given some certain section of IPC and you are given the essentials for that section. So while reading the questions, keep repeating those essentials in your mind. Keep them going over and over in your mind while you are reading the questions. So the answer might immediately click to you while you are reading the facts. So yeah, keep the all the principles in mind in legal. Now coming to logical reasoning. In logical reasoning, once again, read the questions before you read the passage. And in logical reasoning, another thing is you should try to get the main point of the passage. Like there's often a question multiple times, like what is the central point of the author? What is the main point of the author? So while reading the passage, immediately try to guess what the main point of the author is in your mind. Once you get what the main point is, then believe me, all the questions are really easy. And yeah, one more thing. Try to understand the overall connotation of the passage. Connotation means basically whether a passage is positive or negative. So while reading the passage, firstly, try to understand the main point of the passage. And second, also try to understand the connotation. Like, is the overall tone of the overall tone of the passage positive or negative? In this way, when you are solving the questions, believe me, it becomes very, very easy. Especially if you are able to capture the main point of the author, then to solving the questions is a piece of cake. And another thing is you really do not need to be afraid of logical reasoning. I mean, if you look at the past 4 years CLAT papers, 2020 to 2023, you'll realize just what is the level of logical reasoning that is asked. There is really no need to be afraid of it. In fact, I always thought that there is no need to create a separate section called logical reasoning. It is basically English. They have just given it a different name and are asking slightly different questions. Otherwise, is there really anything different from English? So, yeah, in logical reasoning, just keep the main point of the author in your mind and try to find the connotation. And yeah, don't be afraid of logical reasoning. It's an easy and it's a very, very scoring section in CLAT. Um, and lastly, coming to QT, the only thing I can say is don't be afraid of QT. I'm sure there must be at least a few people in the meeting here who do not even turn to QT. They think, ki, bhai, I don't know maths. I'm not even going to attempt QT. Believe me, I was also like that once upon a time. But once you get over your fear, you'll realize that this QT which they are asking, it is actually pretty damn simple. Like what percentage, ratio, proportion, time, speed, and distance. These things we have been learning since what childhood basically, right? And everyone has studied maths until class 10th. I am sure that all of us can do percentage very, very well. So the biggest thing in QT is not to be afraid. Just approach it with an open mind. You do not have to love QT. It is just a section. If you are preparing for CLAT, you do not have to love QT to prepare for CLAT. You just have to practice it until December, right? So there is really no need at all to be afraid of QT. Just approach it with an open mind. Do it if you can. And yeah, if you're weaker at maths, then you can definitely try putting a set of QT between reading section. Because yeah, if you're weak at maths and you attempt to do all the three QT sections back to back, you might get intimidated, or yeah, your brain's capacity for maths runs out. Even yeah, that was another reason why I put QT between the reading section, because even I'm not too great at maths. Like I can just good enough for QT, I can say. So yeah, just I put QT between the reading sections so that my brain, like when my brain's capacity for maths gets exhausted once, I can just let it recharge and come back to QT later. So I am fresh to do another set. Now regarding the timings for each section, it really varies from mock to mock. Like you cannot give one blanket timing for how much time you should give to each month section. But for me, usually English was 20 to 25 minutes. If it's extremely difficult, then 30 minutes. GK was 5 to 7 minutes. I really did not give that more than that much time to GK. Like if there was some question, some questions you feel ki, oh man, मैंने कहीं तो पढ़ा था. Like you feel it gnawing in the back of your head, but you can't quite recollect it. So just leave it for then. No time to hit your head over it at that time. You can always come back to it later. All right. Then legal reasoning, it took, if it was very easy, then 30 to 35 minutes, and if it was tough, then 50 minutes, and sometimes even upwards of an hour. But yeah, around 40 to 45 minutes is the average time it should take you for that. Do not waste too much time on any section. Like if you like yeah, it might be possible the English section of a mock is really easy, but the legal reasoning is really difficult. So if you think, man, all the legal passages are really tough today, so it's okay if you miss out a few of them. It's really not important to attempt all 150 questions. Like keep a decent amount of attempts, like upwards of 120, 125, but do not aim to attempt all 150. Like it's great if you can do that, but it's not in any way necessary. Then logical reasoning should take about 20 to 25 minutes. Again, like it's like similar to English. If it's really, really tough, then maybe 30 minutes, not more than that. And QT, so for me, it was like just in between as a refresher. But yeah, not more than 10-15 minutes. And yeah, once again, aim to finish your mock in 1 hour and 55 minutes. And yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Right. Guys, if you have any question, please feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat box. Abhinav, there's one question in the chat box. If you could have a look at that.
Yeah, just a second. Start with 8 hours every day. Okay. My namesake, dear Abhinav. 8 hours a day. Okay, so firstly, regarding scoring 45 in LE mocks, I would say do not be too afraid of LE mocks. They are outrageously difficult. Even like my score in my first LE mock was what 39, I think. So really, do not be afraid of LE mocks. Like they are very, very unbelievably outlandishly difficult, but you'll eventually, after you give a certain amount of mocks, you'll realize, like, when you keep giving them mocks, you'll realize ki yaar, I mean, I don't know how to put this, but yeah, the same person is making the mocks, right? So eventually you understand what is the mindset of the examiner. Oh yeah, another very important thing. Thank you, Abhinav, for reminding this to me. Understand the mindset of your examiner. Like this is not something which will immediately come to you, but over time, as you keep giving mocks, as you keep giving and giving mocks more and more, by the end of your preparation, you'll really be able to understand the mindset of your examiner. You'll be able to understand okay, this is what the paper setter was thinking when he put in this particular question based on this passage. It will take a lot of time, but whenever you are analyzing a mock right now, always think ki what is the mindset of the examiner, what is it that the examiner must have thought while putting in this question. You won't get immediate results from this. It will take a lot of time, believe me, easily 5 to 6 months. But once you get it, you'll be unstoppable. Once you're able to capture what's the mindset of the examiner, then you just look at any mock and you can tell ki okay, I understand what the examiner was thinking when putting in this question, and that really helps with elimination. So yeah, Abhinav, I would say if you are scoring 45 in an any mock, really don't worry. Just look at your rank. Worry about your rank really, because yeah, your scores will vary from mock to mock. If it's extremely difficult, you might score in your 40s, and if it's very easy, you might score in your 120s. So don't really. There's no point in looking at the score. Just look at your rank, and yeah, just if as long as your ranks are consistent or even improving, then you have no cause for worry. And yeah, as regarding 8 hours a day of study, don't count your study in hours, believe me, because that really doesn't make any sense. It Even if you are spending 8 hours a day banging your head against the wall, it won't break. But if you do the same, but if you just try to break the wall with a hammer for 2 hours each day, for 2 hours it will break. But if you are hitting with your head, if you hit it for 24 hours, it still won't break, right? So do not count the hours which you put in. Just try to set a target for each day and try to meet that target. All right. I hope your doubt is resolved. If you have any other doubts, please message again. No, Nominee, what are your sources for CA? For current affairs, see, I read the Hindu. I just made like news. I just made short notes while reading the Hindu, and I also read the Indian Express. Like the Hindu, I used to read all of it except, of course, the city news and that random stuff. But like political news, some sensational murder stuff, all that I did not read. I just read the important news in the Hindu along with the editorials and everything. Um, and I used to read the Indian Express. Now, in the Indian Express, I just read three pages. The 3 pages were the editorials page, the ideas page, and explained. Now, I would really recommend the explained section. It's very comprehensive. It covers all of the trending things, and yeah, it's really helpful. So I used to make handwritten notes from the explained section, and I would recommend this to everyone. Like just the Hindu, yeah, like I made I mean typed out notes, but it's necessary not necessary. You can do it if you want to, but I would 100% recommend making handwritten notes from the Indian Express. Um, because handwritten notes really improve your retention. So yeah, definitely try that out. And yeah, like my current affairs was mostly focused on newspapers, not really much else. Like I did have a couple of, yeah, I did have GK compendiums, but yeah, I never gave too much time to them. I would say that newspapers are really great, and if you are able to find some specific CLAT specific compendiums, then that's great. Like I think NLTI has its own GK compendium. So I think yeah, that and a couple of newspapers would suffice. Then next one-liner sources, yeah, just newspaper and compendiums, nothing else. I did not like the thing is in GK you really need to just keep your sources limited. It will think, yeah, I can look at Drishti IAS, Vision IAS, this UPSC website, that UPSC website. You have to realize ki this is CLAT. CLAT is not UPSC. That is not the level of GK they will be asking. And if you have looked at the 2022 and 2023 paper, you have realized that the sort of questions that are being asked are not really which you can find in any compendium, right? Because they are very varied. Like this year, there was some question on which AI defeated some chess player in the 1980s. You really won't find that sort of thing in a compendium anywhere. So yeah, the best thing in GK is to just keep your sources limited, select one or two newspapers, pick just one compendium, and that is enough. You might think, yeah, I can do this source, I can do that source, and you can do a ton of things, but the more sources you go into, the more you confuse yourself, and yeah, it's just not worth giving that much time to GK. So just pick a couple of sources, max two or three, and stick to them. Um, Next, which mocks would you suggest? Well, NLTI, obviously.
Obviously, guys, NLDI mocks are the best. If not
Yeah,
best, at
and
least
like,
comparable to good coaching institutes. You will get a variety of questions. You'll get a variety of difficulty level. So you do
and
not
yeah,
have to be.
it is made by those who have, well, as I said, like, you have to understand the mindset of the examiner. These mocks are made by those people who have understood the mindset of the consortium of NLU examiners, right? So the mocks they'll be making will undoubtedly be the best, and that's all I can say in order to not seem biased. But yeah, NLTI definitely. Uh, then how to make GK revision schedules? So it really, I really do not have much idea about this since I did not make any GK revision schedules. But if I had to guess, I would recommend ki you can just plan stuff out, right? Like, suppose starting from the next Monday, you can revise GK from the first month of January. Then the next week you can revise the next week of January, and that way. Then in every few weeks, just revise one entire month. Then just sit down one Sunday and revise the entirety of GK, etc. I really cannot help you much on this since I never made a GK revision schedule. I'm sorry. I really hope you cannot hear all the noise from outside. Uh,
No, it's fine. Yeah.
how, yeah, your LE average score at end part of your prep? Yeah, LE score so really varies to tell you the truth. I scored 100 plus a couple of times. Mostly it was in 75 to 80 range. Sometimes it even dropped to 50, 60 in one particularly horrible mock. But yeah, the thing is, you really should not be looking at your score. Just look at your rank and your percentile, because yeah, score varies quite wildly. It can go from 40 to 110 plus. So just at how look at your percentiles and your ranks. Do not worry about your scores. Next question. Okay. Mm, okay. Just 1 second. All right. What book will you suggest us for legal reasoning? I just used whatever material was provided by my coachings, and very frankly, I would recommend giving a mock over, practicing from a book, like for a particular section. I would always recommend giving a mock since that improves all of your sections at one time. As for books, man, I really don't know since I just use all that was provided by my coaching. I did not use any external sources, so I'm sorry I can't guide you on that. Uh, which book will you suggest? Bhaiya, what was your score in current affairs? So see, CLAT doesn't give you the breakdown of your score, they just give you an overall score. But I think it must have been like 21, 22. So yeah, the thing is, this year current affair was really unpredictable. So I realized, like as soon as I saw it, I realized I really should not guess here because the difference will be in between ranks will be just 0.25, 0.25. So I should just keep the guessing to a minimal. I just attempted all those questions which I knew, and I think I got 21, 22 something. I guess. Uh, oh God. How to plan our day, like how to divide our time between different sections, an ideal plan, if any, and thanks a lot. Harshita, that really depends on your strengths and weaknesses. Like, if you are strong in a section, you really do not need to devote that much time to it. And if you are weak in a section, you need to devote more time to it. So, there is really no ideal plan. It varies from person to person. You have to strike the ideal balance. Like, see, right now you have a lot of time to go until class, so you really can experiment a lot. So you can try out different things. Like you can try out ki, like am I making progress in my scores if I give this much time to this section and this much time to this section. If I'm not making progress in my scores, then you can shift around the time allotted, right? So yeah, it really depends on person to person, and the best way to find out is to just go experimenting. You have plenty of time, you can experiment a lot, and yeah, you can find out whatever suits you best. What should typical schedule of a CLAT aspirant looks like? Nominee once again depends on you, but a few things. definitely, like, yeah, give mocks frequently and analyze mocks. Yeah, definitely analyze mocks frequently as well. Um, if you are weak in a particular section, then you keep revising. You can use some material to revise for it. And yeah, that's about it. Like, read the newspaper daily. If a new edition of your GK a compendium is issued, just go through that, make notes, revise GK, attend any classes if you have joined them, etc., etc. And Shu, what do I do when I'm stuck between two options of legal and critical? Yeah, that really depends upon the question, to be frank with you. Like, it is very vague. I cannot really help you with that. Sorry. Like, it really depends on each particular question as to how you can differentiate between which is the correct option and incorrect option. Sorry. Was your school dummy or actual? No, it was actual. I actually went to school. So I used to go to school quite regularly until Diwali. Post Diwali, I went very erratically just to give tests, etc. And yeah, after 18 December, school was over. So no, my school was not dummy. I went almost regularly till Diwali, and post Diwali, like, yeah, pre Diwali, I used to take like one holiday a week to study for CLAT, and after that, yeah, after Diwali, it was just and I was entirely at home. How did I manage? So in order to manage school along with CLAT, I used to wake up early. Like, I'm a morning person. I find myself to be very very productive in the mornings. So I used to get up at what 4:35 each morning and read both the newspapers before going to school. Then when I came back home at around 2, I used to like have something to eat and rest a little by 2:30. And 2:30 onwards, I just did whatever I had planned. Like, I gave a mock, I analyzed a mock, I went to classes, I revised up my GK or whatever. So yeah. Um, mm, Next, what was your rank initially? I think I had a good rank since the beginning. Like, I started around 100, rank, I guess. I really don't remember that well, but yeah, it was under 200. That's how much I remember. And later, by the end of my preparation, it was under 30. I think I was rank 1 in a mock only once. But yeah, by the end of my preparation, my rank used to be under 30. Hi, Bhaiya, were your ranks in mocks? Yeah, I just mentioned this. I have just answered this question. Did you read by whole mouth shut tightly or little lips moving? No, I used to read with my mouth shut tightly. Sorry. And that's what you should do. Like, if you pronounce what you are reading along with reading, then that really, really slows you down. So just force yourself to read with your mouth closed. It's a bit tough at times, like in the beginning when you're just reading, and especially if you have not always been a reader, then it is tough. But you can do it. Like, it will come with time. So yeah, read with your mouth shut. I start well in mocks, but at the end, last 30 minutes, I lose my concentration and score very low. Okay, Dipendra. So for this, you just okay. So one thing I did when I was began to lose my concentration was first I used to breathe very very loud. Sorry, not loudly. Sorry, I used to breathe deeply, and I started reading a bit slowly. Like, when you begin reading, like, have to read very quickly, right? But if I felt like I was losing my concentration, I just started focusing on each and every word, and like within 30 seconds, you have that concentration back. So you really don't have to worry about that much. All right. Um, I think this is tough. Am I audible still?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello. All right. My screen is stuck actually. All right. I start well in. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Great. Um, just 1 second. How you studied GK this year? CLAT GK was varied, yeah. So that's what I said. Yeah, this sort of GK really, even any compendium can't help you all that much. You just need to, just read the newspaper, read as varied, read random articles and stuff, and even give mocks. Like this time, that question I mentioned, which AI sorry, which supercomputer beat the chess world master in the 1980s? I actually read a passage about that in a CLAT article. So that gave me 1 mark in the actual paper. So yeah, give as many mocks as possible. They are about a multitude of topics and they also give you tons and tons of knowledge. So even that can help. And like, yeah, just read the newspaper and yeah, that's about all I can say. Like this sort of GK is just unpredictable. Uh, see, how much and one-liners did you revise and end for ALET? And sources you were told only news. Uh, how much one-liners did you revise for ALET? I did not do any specific GK preparation for ALET. My GK preparation for CLAT and ALET was the same, really nothing different. And sources we were told were only newspaper only or months too. I'm sorry, Abhinav, I don't understand what the second part of the question means. Please clarify. Ankit, as I've told you, I referred to the newspapers and I just used to refer to a GK compendium. Manya, any suggestions for compendium? The NLTI compendium seems amazing. But here to make that nothing extra family affairs come in your mind during mock, what did you do? Abhinav, please rephrase. I don't understand that. Rutik Desai, how much did you score of every section in CLAT 2023? Once again, you do not get your exact score. So, see, what happened was actually I made a mistake in filling up the OMR. So, according to my question paper, I should have gotten up 118, but I must have circled wrongly somewhere since I got only 116.75. So, I don't know what my exact score is, but in English it was 21.5 something. GK was this same 22, 23. Legal reasoning was 37.5. Logical reasoning was 28.75 and QT was 8. I attempted 8 and I got all 8 correct. Ankit, one-liners essential for CLAT? No, not really. Like according to me, there is really no different preparation for one-liners. Your GK preparation for ALET is basically the same as GK preparation for CLAT. You do not have to worry about one-liners separately, in my opinion, or at least that's what I found. How to improve accuracy in all the reading sections? Shruti, you should just read and read. That's really the only way to do it. It is a very, very long process, and especially if you're not a reader already. Um, if you need to develop a reading speed or need to develop a vocabulary, just just pick up whatever interests you and begin reading it. Like I've always been a reader, so I never faced any problem. But I saw some friends who were not readers since always, so they just picked up random novels that they found interesting, magazines, online articles, etc., etc., and they begin reading. And even the newspaper. The newspaper is just reading after all, right? So just read as much as you can. If you come across any new words, write them down, improve your vocabulary, and soon enough you'll be good enough at it. What were your sources for RC and CR practice? Just the mocks. I really did not. CR I tried from a material for some time, but RC though was only and only mocks. 100 plus in LE, how many times? I think just 1 or 2 times. Yeah. I think just one time. I think. Was your vocab beat or what did you do to improve it? My vocab was good. I just learned a little legal vocabulary and that too through mocks only. Like if I came across any certain legal vocabulary terms, I just used those. Bhaiya, which coaching were you enrolled? I was in Career Launchers 2 year classroom program and I was also in Super 30 batch by Legal Edge. Yeah. How much time should we give to analytical reasoning and other things for ALET? Man, ALET is just quite unpredictable, really. Analytical reasoning, just learn how you are supposed to do a question. Just learn how clocks and calendars work, how you should learn, like how you should solve, what's that called? Blood relations, direction sense, etc., etc. Um, yeah, that's about it because you really do not know what will be asked in unit. Like even is this time analytical reasoning was completely different and compared to the 2022 paper, so it's quite unpredictable. But yeah, how much maximum sources should we keep for current affairs? As I said, just stick 2 or 3, not more than that. How to analyze mocks from toppers? All right. To analyze a mock, you should, write down your mistakes. Like, Suppose you made a mistake in a question. So think about it. Yeah, what is where did my thinking go wrong in this, and what is the correct thinking? Uh, so I think this is a mistake I made. Ki I did not used to write. I did not write down what mistakes I made while analyzing. Like I just used to see, okay, this is wrong. I thought कि हाँ मेरे दिमाग में तो रहेगा. I will remember. And I used to move on. But when I came across the similar type of question in the next mock, you utterly forget it because you cannot remember that much. So I think the trick to analyzing a mock is to just write down your mistakes, write down what you did correctly, write down your targets for the next mock, write down which sections you are poor in, which section you are strong in. Just write everything down and go through it again and again. I think that is really helpful. Sticking to NLTI is best. Okay, agree with you a bit. How to analyze mocks properly? Rutvik Desai, I just told you. Abhinav, how did you fill OMR? I mean, with a pen. There's okay. Sorry. Uh, for OMR, I used to do it after every 5 questions. So yeah, I just completed one set and I filled in the OMR. And yeah, like I would not recommend filling in it after like completing one entire section and filling it in. So yeah, really don't worry too much about it. Like just fill five at a time. I think that works. Or you can again you can experiment with this. If you want to fill in after every question, you can do that. If you want to do it after every five, you can do that. Maybe just entire section. Maybe you want to fill entire English at once. You can try that. This is see a lot of things which I am telling you. I discovered them via experimentation. So even to all of you, I would recommend just experiment as much as you can and find what suits you because there's really no one answer. CLAT is not a very objective exam, as all of us know. So you really have to experiment a lot to find out yourself. So yeah, you just experiment to find out which is better, CL mocks or NLTI. NLTI. Anshu, how to increase reading speed? Yeah, just so right now, read whatever you find interesting, and yeah, just give mocks. Even as you keep giving mocks, you get an interest in it. Another thing you can do is underline while reading. I think underlining definitely increases your speed. Then what you can do is suppose you're reading the newspaper, you can give yourself time, like for example, you're reading a 1200 word editorial. So you set a target for yourself that I will finish this in 6 minutes, I will finish this in 7 minutes. So set a timer for yourself, then eventually bring your timer down and you'll find your speed increases. But according to me, the best method is to just begin reading, read as much as you can, read whatever you can lay your hands on, and like once you develop the reading habit, then you'll get an appropriate reading speed. Only one or two times in really how you crack Super 30. Abhinav, thing is कि यार, if a mock is easy for me, then it is easy for everybody. If it is tough for me, then it's tough for everybody, right? So if I am scoring very high, then everyone is scoring very high. So as I'm telling you, oh wait, the app crashed. I think. Am I audible? I think the app crashed on my.
You're audible, yeah.
All right. So as I'm telling you again and again, you really do not have to look at the scores. Just look at your rank. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you will be getting your ranks in today into the AIOM on 8. So yeah, definitely give it. Do you recommend weekly monthans for GK? You can, but monthans I found that they are a bit too expansive. They cover too many things. So yeah, there's nothing wrong in doing it, but yeah, it's up to you really. Like you can just try it out. If you find it suits you, then great. I am preparing for CLAT, so should I prepare for one-liners as legal ed faculty? As I said, ki, man, there's really not any difference in the preparation for one-liners and normal GK. So yeah, don't worry too much about it.
Abhinav, are you there? I think we lost you. Hello. All right, guys, we'll wait for Abhinav to join back in. Till then, if you have any queries with regards to what NLT is or what we do, please feel free to unmute and ask. Oh, Abhinav is back. Abhinav, I have granted you moderator access. Try unmuting now.
Yeah, it's working. As I'm really sorry, my device is crashed.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Ankit, as I said, I really do not think that there is any real difference in preparation for one-liners and normal CLAT GK. So yeah, if the legal ed faculty say one-liners are important, then sure you can prepare for them. But to the best of my knowledge, there's really no difference. Um, Stagnancy and low mock scores, Ishan, I think that means that you need to experiment some more. For example, if you can just switch up the pattern in which you can approach a mock. For example, if currently it's like English, GK, legal, logical, and maths, like the canon order, you can switch it up. You can start trying with a, you can begin with a different section, or you can allot a different time to each section. So if you want to get rid of stagnancy, then you can firstly just try try out different patterns. But if the stagnancy still persists, then you can analyze your mock scores and see that which is that one section in which you are performing poorly consistently, and just practice for that particular section and improve yourself in that. How many hours should we give for CLAT preparation, Yuvraj? Once again, ki you really should not be counting the hours. Uh, just set a particular amount of tasks and just try to complete that. Do not count the hours, because yeah, the hours don't matter. What is the quality of your study in that? That's what matters. Ever happened that you are giving some mock and some thought is disturbing in your mind? Yeah, Abhinav, as I said, you can just whenever you are feeling disturbed, just first begin breathing very deeply. You should be doing that throughout, but just if you are not, just do it again. And just begin reading very, very slowly. Or like another thing I used to do was, like, if sometimes I felt disturbed, I just switched over to maths, because you do not have to think that much in maths. You just have to figure things out, right? You have to solve it and figure it out. So yeah, you can switch to maths, or you can just like begin breathing deeply and read very, very slowly. Kanav Kumar, best strategy for GK. Man, best though I cannot tell you. But mine was, yeah, as I've told you, ki, like read the newspaper, read the compendiums. If you have any, make notes, keep revising those notes, and keep giving notes. Is Mega GK good? Ankit, I don't know, since I was never a part of Mega GK. How to enroll for AIOM? I think the link is on the Telegram, right, Anish?
Yes, the link is on the Telegram group. I have shared the link to the Telegram group in the chat box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super 30 is approaching. Any tips for that? Uh, I mean, Super 30 is just like any other mock, right? It just doesn't have the GK section. So all I can say is give your best and manage your time, since it's usually a little difficult. So doing those 60 questions in 60 minutes is a little difficult. So just give your best. All the best to you. NLTI will be providing about 35 mocks till CLAT. So which other coaching test series you recommend? Um, Apart from NLTI, I would recommend getting Legal Edge. I think just two mock series will suffice. So yeah, NLTI and Legal Edge should suffice, I would say. Kanav Kumar, sources for maths. I did not really refer to any external sources. I just used the materials coachings provided. But quite frankly, I did not practice too much for maths because I was not really a fan of it, and I still am not a fan of it. But yeah, just give the mocks. And the main thing with maths is you just have to strengthen your basics. For example, learn percent, like understand the concept of percentage, ratio, proportion, time, speed, distance, all these things, and you will be good enough at it. Do not try to go. Do not. try to cover every single concept. Just give mocks. You'll understand ki, like what is the sort of thing which is asked, and then you will be able to do it. How to strengthen mental makeup? Um, okay, that's a good question. Um, okay, so one thing I would recommend is like not just this question, but in general, is you should you should form a study buddy group. I think this happens in NLTI as well. Like just form a study buddy group or like join a study buddy group. It really helps you. Like it helps you build up a very healthy competitiveness. Like you see that, oh God, all these other people are also preparing, and like yeah, when you are studying by yourself, you think, ki, "Ha, my preparation is going amazingly." But it's when you give mocks, like when you compare your ranks with other people, when you realize, ki, no, there are still people who are doing better than me. So it really make helps you get motivation. Ki, nah, I really need to cover up. So yeah, I would recommend just in general joining a study buddy group, and even to strengthen your mental makeup, this applies. Your opinion of logical or fairly tough or not, yeah, Abhinav varies from mock to mock, easy in some mocks, tough in some. In which month Super 30 will be conducted? I'm sorry, Aditi, I don't know. Um, what score is considered good in LE mocks? Rajbir, varies. Look at your rank. Average score in LE mocks was 75 or 80. I guess, yeah, 75 or 80 was my average score.
Abhinav, you're not audible. We
Currently,
lost you. Yeah, it's fine now.
yes, sorry. So Nominee's question: how do you practice every section other than mocks? I really did not practice to other sections all that much. I just used to give mocks for logical reasoning. I had to practice, so that was just from the material that was provided. And I think for logical reasoning, NLTI has recently launched a new course, right? I think even that might be helpful for you. I'm stuck again. Oops. Yeah, just I'm back. Um, should I cover current affairs daily, weekly, monthly, or half yearly? Um, Anshu, I am not sure I understand your question, but yeah, you should study for current affairs every day, because if you think, ki, nah, I will do it all in the last 2 months, that way I will remember it also. Believe me, that doesn't work. In the end, you just have so much to do that you do not have the time to sit down and cover up your GK. So yeah, do GK regularly and keep revising it as well. Oh God, stuck again. It's getting irritating. Hmm, I'll just leave and join in a minute. This is hanging a bit too often. Guys, I'm
Abhinav,
really sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're audible.
my tab does not seem to like this particular app. All right. Career definer is good for maths. Okay, Ankit, good for you. How to cover current backlog? Kanav, just make up a GK schedule. Like, for example, you can set a schedule ki within this week I wish to cover January's GK, next week February's GK, and yeah, you can do that. Just plan it out. The number of mocks you gave in your whole journey, I think 70 to 80. I think. How your scores growth up in numbers, Abhinav. I am telling this again and again. Ki do not look at your scores, look at your ranks. So I started at around rank 200, 150 something. I really don't remember. And like yeah, eventually like around Diwali, it improved to around rank 30, and post that it stayed under rank 30. Um, your first mock score, Surya, it was 670 something, but it was a really easy mock. So yeah, um, please tell us about your CLAT day. Okay, so on my CLAT day, what I did was before going, I just did one set from every section just as a a warm up, so that well your mind gets warmed up. I don't know how much that helped, but it really gave me a confidence boost. Um, then on CLAT day, I had a nice D-Day playlist made. So I just put it on in the car. I listened to my favorite music all the way until there. Before going into the exam hall, I just chugged a big cup of coffee, and then I went and gave it. Really, yeah, that's about it. Chaitanya Srivastav, can you please post your question again? Ankit, I really have never seen this career definer channel, so I can't help you. Harshita, accuracy is stuck between 60 and 70%. Attempt more, get more score, and vice versa. So, if you are scoring more when you are attempting more, then you should attempt more. See, accuracy is important, but what matters at the end of the day is score. So, if you are able to score more when you attempt more, then you should obviously increase your attempts. What was your LE mock score in April, May for motivation only? Surya, I did not give any LE mocks at that time. I think I gave my first in June, I think, and yeah, then July was Super 30. I might be mixing up the months a little, but yeah, I was not giving any LE mocks at this time. Um, then your daily schedule when you were at your peak. Okay, so I would say my peak was in December, like 1 December to 18 December. So yeah, I used to get up 4:30 each morning. I stopped reading the newspaper 18 November onwards because I figured that the paper must be printed by now. So I just used to get up. I used to give mocks, analyze a mock. What I did was I used to give mocks with my study buddy groups. It was five of us people, so we gave mocks together. Then, like if we had any doubts in the mocks we had given the day prior, we discussed those doubts with each other. Then I used to analyze those mocks. I used to revise up the GK. Um, then yeah, that's about it. Like it really varied from day to day. You should just plan out one day ahead and do it. Yuvraj Singh, what should be the ideal
Abhinav,
speed of reading?
sorry to interject,
Yeah.
but I think it's time to conclude the session. The level of questions is decreasing now, and the vagueness is increasing. The next, additionally, for how long did you brush your teeth on CLAT day? I think this is the best time
Yeah.
we end this session. Thank you so much, Abhinav, for joining in and
Yeah.
taking out your precious time and enlightening these students. And thank you, everyone, for joining in and taking Law School Gyan, not Law School Gyan, CLAT Gyan from Abhinav. Soon he will be giving you Law School Gyan also if once you are in NLS. So,
Yeah.
Abhinav, thanks a lot for joining in, and we look forward to having more such sessions with you. Like, if you want to talk a little bit about general life, what are your plans for the next 3 months now? Given that you're done with board, you're done with CLAT, what else?
Yeah, I just heaved a sigh of relief yesterday that boards were over. Now, yeah, I'm planning to go out, go on vacation a couple of times. Then, yeah, I think I'll just get back to reading for pleasure. Like for CLAT, as I've mentioned, I'm an avid reader. I love reading. But during CLAT, all I read was newspaper and the non-fictional stuff. It was helpful for CLAT. And once that was over, then boards came along. So now I just have a big reading list. So I think I'll just begin working on that. And yeah,
Right.
then just meeting up with friends, all the general sort of stuff.
How much do you think you're scoring in both? 100%.
See, if I get 90% and my photo in the newspaper, I'll be happy. I really don't want anything more than that.
All right. We'll see about that. It must be around 98, 99 at least.
I really don't think so.
Chalo. Thank you so much, Abhinav, for joining in.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys, if you have any doubts regarding NLTI or what NLTI does, how to enroll, please feel free to unmute and ask me. I'll be here for next 2 minutes. Abhinav, you can leave the meeting. Thank you so much for
Uh,
joining.
all right.
Thank
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey Anish, will Abhinav join NLTI? Hi Vinod, Abhinav has already joined NLTI. If you enroll in our programs, Abhinav will be one of the mentors who will be guiding you. Uh, all right, guys. Any further questions? Cool. Then we'll end the session. Are 8 months enough for CLAT? Yeah, of course. 8 months are more than enough for CLAT if you are serious enough. Yeah. Sir, what is NLTI? So, Chaitanya, NLTI stands for the National Law Training Institute. This is a student run initiative for CLAT preparation, and we are NLS students, and only NLS students run this program. So, we started this last August, and we take pride in telling you that we had an amazing result for CLAT 23, around like 40, 45 plus elections in NLS and NLUD combined. So we started this as just as a mentorship program, but then we expanded it to uh, the test series as well. So in our programs now we provide you mentorship, that is one-to-one personalized mentorship by an NLS student, and mock test series also. How will I get mock of AIOM? I've paid 49. Anshu, you will be receiving a mail pretty soon. You'll have all the details there and also the PDF of the mock. How can I join? Chaitanya, just a minute. I'll share the Telegram channel link again and also the link to our website. So this is the link to the Telegram channel, and our website is clatnlti.com. All the relevant details can be found here. Right. Cool then. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye bye.